Hello, everybody. How are we all? So I'm going to wait a few seconds for you all to join me. So today we are just discussing some techniques for you to basically pivot from negative emotion, okay, and into a more peaceful emotion, okay? And that's all that basically pivoting means. It just basically means moving yourself from a feeling of negativity into just a more grounded state. And then we're going to finish off with a grounding meditation. I'm going to just take you through a really short, literally like a 2-minute grounding meditation. Okay, so we're just going to begin with me discussing, okay, those feelings of negativity and just some really simple techniques that you can do to help yourself just move out of that state. And then we're just going to finish off with a really short grounding meditation because I haven't done one in here for a few weeks. So I've been kind of like thinking, I need to do one because I do enjoy that. Hello, Janet and Shelley. So for those of you that are new in the group, because I'm getting more and more new members come in, hi, my name is Trudy. I'm a clairvoyant medium and psychic, and I'm also an intuitive empowerment coach. So I not only do, hi Heather, I not only do readings, I also coach on supporting women predominantly connect to their intuition, move out of that headspace of fear, working through any limiting beliefs that they have so that they can basically light their lives up, understand the difference between what it is that is intuition, fear, so that they can make empowering decisions, not feel scared to basically feel that fear, because I think it's important to do that, so that they can have the lit up abundant life and that connection to spirit, their spirit guides, loved ones and everything, because it really does make a really important difference when you have that connection. So getting into discussing negative emotion, and feel free to ask your questions as well, because I don't like to feel like I'm just like chatting at you. I work better as well when I'm asking people's questions and answering people's questions as well. I like that. I like interaction. So yeah, and the techniques that I use and the advice I give as well, I try and do it so that for the parents in the group, you can use it with your kids as well. So does anybody in the group, hi Mary, does anybody in the group ever experience, and I know I get it and I still get it sometimes, ever have those feelings when you end up triggered by something? And it could be absolutely anything. I know, Janet, you had an episode you were telling me in group yesterday when a man beeped at you and you felt anxious and upset and, you know, emotions like that. Hi, Robbie. So that would be a state of negativity. And so that would be classed as a trigger, you know, someone beeping their horn at you and you don't know what to do. I'm not talking about what the trigger is here, okay? It doesn't matter what the trigger is, but you end up getting into a state of you don't know what to do, okay? And when you've got any type of negative emotion, you end up almost having like an argument in your head. So you're telling yourself that you need to calm down, you need to get out of whatever state it is that you're in, but it's actually telling yourself, yes, oh my gosh, you remember? Yeah, I remember. So it makes me laugh because I'm surprised you would think I forget. I mean, some things I forget, you know, my brain, sometimes I feel like my brain's getting old, but yeah, I do remember people telling me things. I'm distracted now. But yeah, sometimes when you have any of what that negative emotion is, you end up judging and blaming yourself for even having that negative feeling, don't you? And you can end up just basically having an argument inside your own head. Okay, so I shouldn't be feeling this. I need to get out of this feeling, or I need to hurry up and take an action step. you know, to hurry up and get myself out of this feeling or whatever it is. And those that are in the, like, those that understand law of attraction, for example, and development, and things, they know that obviously your energy affects what you put out there and therefore what you get back. So, and when you know that, you end up panicking. Oh, I'm thinking a negative thought and therefore I need to hurry up and change this negative thought. Otherwise, I'm going to end up attracting back a lot of negativity, which ends up actually creating more anxiety and more negativity in your experience, because you end up thinking you have to constantly be thinking positive all the time. And I'm going to say you don't. You don't actually need to be thinking positive all the time to create a positive life. Okay? Struggle with triggers me into a negative headspace. Yeah. Oh yeah, shock is a nasty one, because the problem with shock is you haven't prepared yourself, and the feeling why most people want to prepare themselves is to protect themselves, and we don't always do that. We can't always do that, and actually there's a blessing in not being able to do that. Okay. The argument in my head would be about what I could have done differently. Oh yeah, I think a lot of us think, oh, even when we have moments of shock that catch us off guard, we're always thinking, oh, what would I have done differently? And the moments I've had with regards to what could I have done differently is if I have an argument with my other half, I'm always thinking, what could I have said differently to him, which possibly would have caught him maybe off guard, or maybe have made him see things in a different light, or made him see me in a different light, or something like that, to have diffused the situation. When in actual fact, on reflection, it probably wouldn't have helped, you know, because when we react in a way that we don't want to react, okay, we have to learn from that, because actually that's our darkness, that's our shadow side coming out. And because that's coming out and actually that's being released, it's in effect healing. And if you can have an awareness of that, okay, that's where you can start to make those changes. Okay. Morning, Alyssa. Danielle, Macy and I were talking last night, and I told her when she gets anxious or scared to pretend she's in a bubble of white light. Yeah, definitely. As a mum, I need to be strong. I'm glad you brought that up, actually. We are conditioned to think as parents we need to be strong. And I thought that, and I would keep my emotions very much bottled up. And then the problem with that is when you're keeping a lid on things because you feel like you have to be strong in order to teach your children to be strong, because that's the only reason why you're thinking you have to be strong, is so that you're modeling that strength and resilience to your children, is they then actually subconsciously feel, this isn't to make you feel bad, Janet, at all, because you don't know what you don't know. You're teaching your children the tools that you think are valuable, is that they then struggle to process their own emotion. And I actually had to learn that it was okay to then cry, and even to get angry in front of my kids, and then explain after why I had felt angry, why I had cried, and things like that, so that when it came to them experiencing these emotions, that actually they could do that without fear of judgment and criticism, and being told that actually to feel that was weak, so that when they expressed those, that was a sign of strength, because they had seen me do it. So I really didn't want to leave your comment, because I think we as mums especially are taught, and actually men are taught as well, don't cry, but they're getting very, very angry because they can't tap into that type of emotion. So we're keeping it all bottled up because we feel like we have to be strong in order to kind of teach our children to be calm and peaceful little people. But actually, if they saw the darker sides to us, okay, like the tears and the anger and things like that, when they're struggling to process their own triggers, okay, they're going to know, okay, I can just feel this. And that builds up a sense of strength and resilience within them. Like my son will switch from 0 to 60 without, and triggers don't even have to be something big. I won't even know what a trigger is. It could be a smell, for example. So it's important that I'm not bottling up emotion. Otherwise, if he's bottling up emotion, it could actually turn into, say, a seizure, because obviously emotional dis-ease turns into physical dis-ease, okay? So he needs to know that it's safe, with like any child, to process his emotion. But it's like, and I will actually laugh about it. I mean, some people might go, oh, why are you laughing at like a child being angry or whatever like that? And it doesn't sound, in physical retrospect, it doesn't, it's not as harsh as what I talk about. But when he's having like a tantrum, and normally it's over something sensory, he'll like have a meltdown, and then I'll just go, you have your meltdown, have it upstairs, do what you need to do, because normally it will be him like trashing his room because the energy has just gotten too much for him, like sensory overload, it will get too much. And adults will have this as well, when things have got too much, when you've bottled things up, okay, because you've been conditioned to think that you cannot express how you feel, okay, or you don't feel enough, or you're trying to, or you're comparing yourself to someone, or whatever the reason is. Think about yourself, because you are actually no different to a child. You're just in a grown-up skin suit, as I call it. So I just tell him, or, you know, I've got 3 kids, so, but my son is the one that struggles the most with his emotion, to tell him to do whatever he needs to do within his room. Hi, Cindy and Lena. Tell him to do whatever he's going to do in his room. And normally he will thrash about in his room, so it ends up being a mess. But then he also knows that he can express his anger, but after he needs to clean it up. So he's also taking responsibility for that mood. And we also need to take responsibility for our own feelings. In other words, the way we normally don't take responsibility for our emotion is, we don't allow ourselves to get angry. We don't allow ourselves to cry. We end up doing some type of action, like we bury ourselves in other people. We continue to give in other people to avoid actually looking at ourselves and just feeling those emotions. And then we wonder why we're exhausted and resentful and tired and ill and burnt out. And then, or we're the takers. And I was very much like that, actually. I wasn't the giver, actually. In my past, I was one of the ones that would take to self-validate. And that's how we don't take responsibility for our own emotion. We seek the validation outside of ourselves. So then that's how we don't kind of clean up our own emotional mess, as it were. And the way that we can clean up our own emotional mess is by allowing ourselves to cry, to let it out. And these are the techniques that I'm going to talk about in terms of cleaning up your own emotional mess, as it were. So the equivalent of Oliver tidying up his room after he's thrashed it about when he's got angry. So the first one is writing in your journal, like people know I harp on about journaling, but it's because it is a healthy way of expressing yourself, and your journal does not judge you. And I think this is why we don't express ourselves, because we're scared of judgment, you know, someone else in the room judging us, including, you know, us judging ourselves for whatever that emotion happens to be. And I didn't journal for a very, very long time, actually, because when I was a child, I had a diary, and I wrote in my diary, and I remember writing one line in there which said, I was scared of my dad. And now my dad wasn't abusive or anything like that, but because he was constantly away working nights, he was tired and he was stressed. And I was not brought up in a house where self-care was a priority at all. So I did not learn to give back to myself, hence why I would take to self-validate. So when he would come home stressed and tired and exhausted, he would constantly shout at me and my sister to get us to do things. But because I was around shouting, I was very, very sensitive to energy, not realizing that I was empathic. And this scared me. And my mum went to my diary and said, how dare you, you know, say that about your dad? He's a good man, this, that, and the other. But it developed that one memory developed that belief within me that my personal feelings were not private, that I was not entitled to privacy, that actually my personal feelings were going to be judged, that they would not be understood. I wasn't asked why I felt that way or anything. And that feeling wasn't valued. If perhaps my mum had asked, oh, why did you write that? Even the fact that she went to it was wrong. You know, private space wasn't even considered. But even if she had just asked, okay, why did you write that? That would have made things a little bit better, you know? But yeah, so I'd put off journaling for a long time because I had developed that belief that, and she actually, and my mother had always said, be careful of what you write down because it can be kept. So I was like, you know, everything I think is going to be judged. And if everything I think in my mind is going to be judged, I better not put it out onto paper, you know. But that was just a false belief. Someone else's beliefs and opinions do not have to be yours. Okay, and actually your journal will not judge you. It's not going to start talking back at you, you know, unless you've watched way too much Harry Potter, which I have. Anyway, your journal will not judge you. It won't. It creates a safe space for you to hold your thoughts. Okay, and you need to get them out somewhere. I have coached some women that have gone through very abusive relationships, where this is a problem with having a private container to have their thoughts and have something that isn't going to be looked at. So this is what I also get them to do, and you can use this anyway, is when you've written everything that you feel as though you're keeping held within you. You can do this with kids, and kids find this really, really fun because kids love fire, but obviously be conscious of it. Yeah, and I'm about to mention that now, actually, Janet, is write your thoughts down, then rip up the paper, okay? But rip it up with some vigor, okay? Not vinegar, vigor. Rip it up with some vigor, okay? With some energy, okay? And then literally throw it up in the air, okay? As if you're throwing it up into the universe to take it away, okay? To take those thoughts away, okay? And imagine yourself in that beautiful white light, or it doesn't have to be white light, whatever light you want, okay? Because it's the intention behind it more than anything. And then I love the laugh emojis. And then allow them to just fall, because as you do that, okay, you're actually releasing control, Okay, you're actually surrendering to wherever your thoughts fall to. Okay, and then stamp on them. Okay, it's you're literally releasing, you're physically releasing those thoughts by stamping on them. Okay, children love to physically move. Okay, and as they're stamping, they're getting out any of that upset, that anger out at the same time as you. So you're modeling a healthy way to get that anger out or that upset or whatever. It's really good for children that have that have autistic traits and sensory needs and things like that, because like my son, for example, he's forever flapping and jumping because he's got autistic traits and things like that. Still struggling to get a blooming other diagnosis, but that's a subject for a whole nother live. So yeah, that's one that you can use with children as well, and especially for those that have the limiting belief as well that anger is wrong. Okay, that they will be judged for feeling anger. Okay, and they tend to suppress it. It needs to come out. All right, and Janet, I'm hilarious. Gotta have a bit of humour. Gotta have a bit of humour, honestly. And I do watch Harry Potter. I do. I've watched them all. I might actually, I promised myself I'd have a duvet day tomorrow, and I might actually just watch them all over again. Have a rerun. So that's my first one. The second one as well that children can use is think of a word, okay, and this isn't the naughty word one, but I will get to that. Imagine that you have, okay, whatever this negative memory is, okay, and it doesn't have to be one that's triggered you in the present. It could be one that you're struggling to deal with in the past, okay, and basically call it something, call it anything you like. You want to attach like a buzzword to the memory, okay, and you want to put this word into an envelope, okay, like an envelope inside your mind, okay, and as you put the word, okay, that's got the memory attached to it inside the envelope, imagine yourself sticking the envelope down and folding it up, okay, and as you've got this word inside the envelope, okay, you then imagine that you've got a trash can. And I don't know if any of you have ever seen Sesame Street or anything like that. And I'm trying to remember the name of the character that was in like the trash can that ate food. It wasn't Grouch, but it was like a character that ate food that looked like a little kind of funny looking like monster, okay, and then you want to imagine that this little monster in the trash can is eating, okay, the word that you've put in the envelope, okay, it's basically eating the memory, okay. Now kids like this because they like to imagine furry monsters doing silly things, okay. Thank you, that's it, yeah. Yeah, the Grouch and Oscar and things like that. Yeah. You can tell I got kids, can't you? Oscar the Grouch. Yeah. So I say imagine that, okay? And you're imagining Oscar the Grouch eating the memory, okay? And that's really good for children. It also helps develop their sense of clairvoyance, okay? Because developing sense of imagination is helping them to connect to spirit, their sense of developing picture messages, and clairvoyance is all about developing imagination, okay? Exactly, the Cookie Monster. So that's the one I tend to use a lot because I'm mainly clairvoyant. I had a very vivid imagination when I was a child. So I mean, you can use Big Bird if you want, but I don't think you would feel as though your memory had really been kind of done away with, thrown into the trash, and especially if it's a memory that you're not happy with, if you were imagining Big Bird dealing with it, or, you know. So I've even imagined, it's made me laugh, I've imagined my ex-husband being thrown to, you know, Oscar before. So, you know, there's all sorts of things you can do. Hi, Josephine. Oh, and I've had to do that quite a few times. And in all fairness, I've had to do it with my other half when he's getting on my nerves. But I'm only saying that now because he's not in the house, he's gone to get the kids, bless him. But so, and it's a good one because it actually lifts your mood at the same time. So you don't have to worry that you're in a state of, and this is why it's called pivoting, because you want to deal with your negative emotion, you know, in a healthy way, still feel as though you're nurturing that aspect of you, whilst also shifting yourself back into a sense of alignment. And remember that being in alignment isn't about being, you know, happy, dancing down the street naked, you know, feeling on top of the world. Being in alignment, and I've never done that, by the way, being in alignment is that feeling of being calm, being at peace, even having your thoughts just being at a general state. Okay, being in alignment means feeling hopeful. Okay, being in an alignment just means just being out of that state of negativity. Okay, yeah, that's not an image I should have given you guys, really. Nah. I have no filter. I say things before I've really put much thought into them. Yeah. So that's what you want to aim for. So the first one, I'm trying to think what the first one was. Oh yeah, journaling. Okay, I'm ripping it up and stamping on it. Okay, really getting, you know, physically releasing that emotion. Okay. Second one. Okay, we'll just call it Oscar the Grouch. Okay, I'm sure you remember that. And so we've got that one. Your third one, okay, is quite simply sleep. People underestimate how much sleep impacts pivoting you from a negative emotion to feeling good, okay? Because you've been very conditioned to think that you need to take an action, okay? And sleep will actually help you to surrender what is going on. It helps you to surrender and release that control, okay? It stops all momentum into that scarcity mindset, okay? And it stops the ball from rolling, okay? In terms of that energy building up in a place that you don't want, okay? When your fear is building up, you know, everything's going wrong, the money's not coming to me, my relationship's going wrong, you know. So you're trying all the things, but you're trying all the action things from a place of fear. And actually, that's one of the worst things that you can do. So the best thing that you can do is literally just stop. Take yourself back to bed and have a nap. Have a sleep. What I normally do with that, because I can be quite, there are traits to me that's a bit of a perfectionist, is I put some like meditation music on in the background or some sleep hypnosis on in the background. So I feel like I'm getting something, you know, whilst I'm taking a sleep, or I'm trying to just slow down the momentum in that area, because I don't want to be feeding any more negative energy in the direction which I don't want. I don't want anything shitty coming back to me, basically. If you don't know what to do, if you're at a complete loss, and I'm talking about when you feel really depressed, Okay, this is why people end up feeling so tired. Okay, and then they end up judging themselves for feeling so tired. It's because you actually need it. It's because your soul is tired and it doesn't know what else to do. But you're constantly trying to shift yourself out of bed and do X, Y, and Z, when actually the one thing you actually do need to do is be okay with being in bed. I remember I had a client who was at that point, and she said to me, I feel like I need to get myself out of bed and do this, that, and the other, but I'm really struggling to even just have the energy to take a shower because I have all these negative thoughts, and I've got people telling me that, oh, well, if I just, get out of the house and things like that. And she couldn't. And I actually said to her, I said, you need to go back to bed. You need to actually just get to a place where you feel as though you are okay with just being in bed. Because when you get to a place where you are okay with just being in bed and being in that state with just being okay with you, that's when the thoughts will begin to come and the motivation will come to then getting out and doing things. But if you keep pushing against yourself, you're going to build up so much resistance that adds to the feelings of tiredness. Exactly, Josephine. There's a reason why we need sleep. There's a reason why we need it. And this is why I go on about this so much as well, because spirit will speak to you through your physical body. They give you signs through your physical body all the time. And if we ignore that, it only gets worse, and it gets worse for a reason. No, this is why I try not to do readings when I have like a headache, or I even feel a bit sleepy or anything like that. Or I will cut them short, or I'll have to rearrange or anything like that. Because when you feel ill, that's their way of shutting you down. Oh, Cindy, it's a lady, don't want to. Oh, love that. That's a lovely compliment, Cindy. Thank you. So I had 4 days last week of just laying in bed and resting. Oh, good. Cindy, my lovely, then I think it's time to try and do some things that will just help you just a bit to sleep better. So maybe trying some like essential oils around your bed, some sleep hypnosis, some meditations. I'm being told to clear. What am I being told? Being told you need to declutter your room, clear your room. Josephine, yes, mine has got worse. I got vertigo in the end, and I feel spirit is telling me I need to give a day up at work. Then definitely heed that advice. Yeah. I mean, what's helped me to sleep better as well, and it didn't help that my children kind of, it took quite a few years for my youngest to settle into sleep through. She would get up quite a bit. Was by putting sleep hypnosis on, and I would sprinkle essential oils on my pillow until my youngest actually started taking it, and then I ran out and because she was sprinkling it on her pillow, and that might be why she started sleeping better, come to think of it. But also I put okay, that explains why they said declutter for you, my lovely. So my love, when you follow your intuition, okay, because the money worries are coming from fear, okay, and remember, spiritually, you are abundant. You are already abundant. You are limitless, okay? If you follow your headspace, okay, your fear space, okay, that's what you're going to see back, okay? follow your intuition, and then your needs will always be met financially, okay? Just have to keep reminding yourself of that, okay? Because I get it's really hard when you think that what you physically see is your reality, and it takes practice to get into that space of believing what is not yet seen, and that's what faith is. It's believing what is not yet seen. Yeah, exactly. Trust. There's a reason why they're telling you to give up that day, and I got a feeling they're telling you to give up that day, not just for your health, but because I have a feeling that they want you to do your own thing in that day, like your own business, okay? So I'm gonna finish there, but those are the three main tips that I would give you for helping you to pivot out of negative thoughts, okay? And that even works for depression. Oh, okay, fourth, I forgot. Gratitude. Gratitude, okay? Write what you're grateful for within yourself. We always forget what we're grateful for within ourselves, okay? And that's essential because it builds our self-worth, self-esteem, self-confidence, self-love, okay? And also what you're grateful for outside of yourself, okay? Definitely need to do that. Okay, so your first one is your journaling, ripping it up, okay, stamping on it, then burning the little okay, and you can do that with children as well. Second one, imagining that your memory, that negative memory, okay, or that negative trigger, okay, has a buzzword attached to it. That memory is just a word, and that word you are putting in an envelope, and it is being eaten up by Oscar the Grouch or whatever other monster figure you want to give it to, okay? The third one, sleep, okay? Make the space that you sleep in really nice, really loving and abundant just for you. That is your sacred space to nurture your body and your soul, okay? You need that. That's your self-care, okay? And the fourth one is gratitude, okay? Oh, hi, Tina. So I'm going to finish off with just giving you just a simple 2-minute grounding and protection meditation, okay? So you're welcome to stay and just listen to this. Try and get yourselves nice and comfy if you can, okay? You can do this sitting up or lying down, cross-legged. All that matters is that you're comfortable, okay? I like, meditation is just a fancy word for daydreaming, okay? So I like to teach meditation to be as simple and as bringing about as least resistant as possible. So I teach this to my one-to-one clients as well. I've got a really itchy arm for some reason. Right, my lovelies, don't worry about commenting now in the next 2 minutes, okay? Because I'll just be taking you through a guided meditation, and the point is so that you can just relax, connect to yourselves, okay? So don't worry about commenting in the next 2 minutes. It's just so you can take what you need to from this, all right? So if you can just get yourselves nice and comfortable and close your eyes, and I would just like you to relax your heads and just place your chins down and just let your necks go nice and limp. And then imagine you've got a beautiful purple light that's circling just above your head, and that light is streaming down past your shoulders and past your elbows This purple light is now streaming past your hands, towards your knees, slowly moving its way towards the tips of your toes. And this light is shielding you from everything on the outside. This purple light is beginning to get brighter and brighter, and as it does so, you can feel its heat warm you from the inside out. Protecting you from all negative energy, people and experiences. You can even see your heart space begin to glow a bright yellow light. As you take the time to focus on this bright yellow light in your heart space, you think about all the beautiful things that you've achieved in the last year. You thank your spirit guides for being with you. And even if you don't know their name, you know that you will continue to have their support and guidance into the next year and beyond. You feel supported, loved, and protected by all the guidance that they're going to continue to give you. As you ask for their signs of love and protection. As you take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth, you see yourself smile as thoughts of love, abundance, positive experiences, people saying happy words to you start to flow in. You start to see coins float around you, and even butterflies floating around you. And now flowers. The colours around you are becoming even more vivid as the space in your heart chakra becomes even brighter as you focus upon all these happy memories. You take the time to thank your spirit guide for being with you. And standing by your side. as you lovingly release everything that which hasn't served you and open your arms to receive everything that does. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And then when you're ready, just open your eyes. And that just finishes that short meditation for you all. And then feel free to let me know your feedback in the comments. Hello, Lisa. Oh, thank you, Cindy. Oh, thank you, Josephine. So there we go, my lovelies. Just a little meditation for you. I'm promising myself I'm going to be doing that more regularly. Let me just go down on the comments a minute. Oh, thank you, Shelley. Oh, Cindy. Well, I'm hoping you got what you needed from your first time in this group, or first live in this group. But ask as many questions as you need to, post as much as what you want. I don't tend to have many rules. I don't really like rules, although I understand rules are needed, but definitely catch on the replay. Oh, reminds me, Cindy, yeah, feel free to go back through other replays as well. And me personally, I prefer to do short meditations, because I myself get quite restless when I'm doing meditations myself. I used to do guided ones, and I get restless foot syndrome, so they twitch. My feet tend to twitch. I've now gone on to binaural beats, which help. Another tip for meditation is if you struggle to stay still for a while whilst meditating, or you struggle with guided meditations and you're wanting to the connection that you have with possibly your spirit guides or even your loved ones or anything like that, is to focus on an object. It can be on a wall or focusing on a candle or anything like that, and to just set a timer for, say, 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Okay, it doesn't have to be long, because if you struggle to sit still for a while, if you're setting the timer for too long, you're already going to be creating resistance, which is going to kind of put you off anyway. Janet, my 8-year-old and I both. Oh, thank you, Janet. Oh, my children love children's meditation, and my daughter, I did it with her, and she's managed to meet her spirit guide now. Her spirit guide is called Millie. So yeah, focus on an object for just 2 minutes, and you want to grab a pen and paper and allow yourself to just zone out, daydream whilst you're focusing on the object. And whilst you're doing so, just jot down, doodle, write any images that come to mind, any words, feelings, and written down, okay? Because it helps to develop the communication that you have with your spirit guide, okay? And it's a great way to develop automatic writing as well as meditating as well. So I'm going to leave that with you, lovely ladies, and I'm off. It's getting really, really dark here. I feel like I'm sat in the dark. I'm actually going to go off and meditate myself now, actually, whilst I'm kind of child-free for a little bit. So I'm going to make the most of that. So yeah, I'm off to meditate. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to pop them in. Let me know actually what you would like to see in the group. Okay. So yeah, anything to do with law of attraction, connecting to spirit, and abundance mindset. Okay. Pop it in. Okay. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your ideas. Let me know what it is you're struggling with. Okay. And how I can support you. All right. Anyway, lots of love, everybody, and I will see you all on Monday. Have a lovely weekend, everybody. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.